Very good. I must say, it's very good. Good to see a lot of people from different industry, different brands who are all working on e-commerce space. And only when you come here, you realize how big is e-commerce is today and how big it's going to be in the near future. Last year, by our own standard, wasn't great. Even though we grew by almost about 25%. But the good news is that last year we successfully launched our quick commerce wing, which is BB now, which did very well. Right? In fact, we exceeded our own annual operating plans that we had set up for. We exited at almost about 175 crores in March 23, and we are hoping to double it, in this financial year, or very close to doubling it, basically. But the good thing that happened, while the top line was only about 25%, I think we were able to really improve our efficiencies significantly. So that we were able to control our burn and also consolidate on the full service business where we are already positive to improve further from there. So overall, I would say a mixed year, and we are hoping to do significantly better in this year. And we also were conscious of the fact that last year, we also had very, very limited pandemic effect. So the gains, the significant gains that we had got in the previous 2 years were in some sense opportunistic. And so the fact that customers went back, and of course there was also, I would say, a lot more serious competitive play with the quick commerce really sort of getting heated up, a lot of significant competitive play that also somewhere would have influenced our rather restrained performance. No, I think we are balancing both, right? Because we want to grow profitably. We want to grow because retail is such a business. It is completely scale dependent. If you don't grow, how much of cost you can juice out? You can only do that. Therefore, you have to have both. But at the same time, you can't just only go at any cost to grow only the top line. Then that can be not so good. So I think it's a conscious call of balancing between the two to make sure that we grow profitably, which means that optimize infrastructure, put in more automation where we can actually improve our efficiencies, drive the productivity of the warehouse workforce using technology, drive productivity of the last mile workforce again using technology, deployment of more and more electric vehicles, because electric vehicles operate at a lower unit rate, right? So just to give an example, if a biker goes in a petrol bike, he will probably charge us about 55 rupees per delivery, right? The same thing when he does on an electric vehicle, we can do it at about 45 rupees, right? So like that, there are a variety of steps we are taking to make sure that we not only drive efficiency for the current year, but lay the foundation for future as well, right? Because the focus on driving efficiency will never go away. Even after you become profitable, you will want more profitability. So therefore, this is something that we have realized that we have to build it into our DNA to continuously work towards driving efficiencies with a view to optimize on your cost, right? And again, we only optimize on cost, which means that we cut unnecessary things, but invest more to make it more productive, which means wherever there is a useful cost, please incur that. I always tell my team also that if you have to spend 100 rupees, go and spend. If you need not spend 1 rupee, don't spend. So that's the way that costs always need to be managed, irrespective of whatever industry that you are in. See, from a contribution margin positive, in the full service model, we are already positive, right? We have been positive for the last 3 years plus. And month on month, we have been positive. There we are only trying to consolidate to see how we can actually increase from the current levels of about 2% to maybe go into 4-5%, right? So that's the current goal on. And we've taken a task of going near to 4%, which is almost doubling where we exited last year in the full service model, right? As far as the quick commerce business is concerned, it's still growing, right? It's growing quite well. So obviously it is scale dependent, like I said earlier. Our own goal is that if we exit March at around 250-275 crores of sales top line, we will be almost even Stevens in terms of contribution margin. And our goal is to make sure that we become even, right? Even Stevens, so that we break even. And then subsequently, every growth that comes will also hopefully flow into bottom line and then make us more and more profitable. Okay. And the good news for us is that about 15 stores have been positive for the last 3-4 months. The high performing stores, the stores that we started at the beginning of our journey in the BB Now space. So that gives us confidence that as we get into the rest of the year and maybe beyond, we will crack it, and because we already cracked it, so we will consolidate and hopefully make the whole business contribution margin neutral by March, then afterwards get into growing into maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% levels. Yeah, a little more than a year. We actually wanted to do it in 1 year, but it took about 16 months. But we will still take it. Now, current year, see, we have already expanded, like in all the top 10 cities where we are present in the country. We already cover almost about 95%, 90 to 95%, some geography 95%, some geography maybe about 90, and average will be about 92, 90, 93%. We already cover that. So therefore, in the current year, in these cities, we have no plans to expand because we already are covering it. Now, what can happen is, supposing some stores get filled up, right? Because these are all in pockets where they cover about 2-kilometer radius, right? Now, supposing a particular store gets completely filled up, then we may look at expanding. But as per our projections, we believe that we may not need till March, right, in these cities. In tier 2 cities, we have an expansion plan. We are rolling out about approximately 50 more stores, right, in this financial year. As we speak, we're targeting to roll it out before September so that we can really get the returns in this financial year itself, right. In tier 2 cities, we will be doing that, but tier 1 we don't need because we already have coverage. And beyond this, coverage will be more when the stores get filled up, and we are able to generate money, and we'll reinvest and quickly expand. Now we know the art of expanding, so therefore it will take no time for us to expand, but we will do it very carefully to make sure that the returns that we get are reinvested for growth. See, it's been reasonably well spoken, at least within the organization. It's very much on. The journey is on. The timing is what is being internally discussed, and I won't be able to talk about that. We are very much in that journey, preparing very hard as a leadership team, and hopefully in the near future you will hear about that.